Anambra State gubernatorial election is to hold on Saturday, 6 November 2021. MPF is committed to providing a secure and a level playing field for all parties and also individuals to exercise their franchise. MPF has conducted an election security threat analysis, and we have developed a strategic election security operational plan. These include massive and strategic deployment of human and operational assets. A DIG deployed as the coordinator of all security arrangements during the election. Like we have said earlier, 34,587 police personnel, COBAT and OBAT, are going to take part. In terms of assets, we have deployed 3 helicopters and also our gunboats to the riverine areas. Special deployment of our EOD men to check IEDs and other things that might possibly used in destabilizing the process. Our post-marine, like I said, is deployed. We have, I can't remember, sorry, I have not taken as at yesterday, I think we can boast of our 7 gunboats, but we still believe that we will bring more from some of the areas that we have because we are putting them in order. Then our deployments can also be done with some of our boats and other tactical scores. Community engagement, collaboration with CSOs, public enlightenment, radio jingles, and other non-kinetic approaches to encourage people to come out and exercise their franchise is also being carried by the force, to carry out by the force. Collaboration with sister agencies is highly on the move, as all other security agencies, including the military, are going to be coordinated, and election policing will be strategically provided. We want to also ensure that orderliness, checking of electoral offenses, and other things that are not allowed on election day are what is going to be checked by those we are going to deploy to the polling stations to ensure that the election takes place orderly. While we are doing this, while we are providing security for the election for orderliness, for the nature of Anambra, we are also prepared to give policing a different aspect of policing for the could-be subversive elements. To that end, we have deployed our special forces, our counter-terrorism unit, and the police mobile force, who will be on vigorous patrols in all the local governments and other areas. All the non-volatile areas have been marked to cover. We are going to provide security in all KPs and BPs, and we also have a plan to meet with all other stakeholders by Wednesday next week, where we will be able to discuss extensively the role of the community, the society, the electoral officers, the security officers, and so forth. We are urging those who are going to cover the elections in terms of NGOs, either as observers or of reporters, are going to be screened, and they will be accredited to also carry out their duties of ensuring that the election is covered both in terms of monitoring and in terms of reportage. Thank you very much for listening. Secondly, the security situation in the southeast. I think I have mentioned something about it. Southeast and South-South is where we decided to launch Operation Restore Peace because of the prevailing crime situation in these 2 geopolitical zones. And particularly in the Southeast, we have made effort to stabilize it by, by launching these two operations. But from time to time, the situation will be stabilized, and after some times it also comes up. We are maintaining ground, and we had gone back fully to see that we maintain ground and check all excesses in terms of crime and criminality, particularly to allow or to make sure that the gubernatorial election in Anambra takes place. I think the situation in Abia, Imo, Ebonyi, and Enugu is being managed effectively, though there is room for improvement. And we are not relenting on our efforts to see that these things are checked and reduced to its barest minimum, if not totally eradicated. As for illegal arms importation, yes, you did an investigative journalism, is allowed and is professional. While you are looking at those offenses or those circumstances, you also need to look at the type of border we have, how porous it is, how is it possible to completely govern it, and what kind of activities, economic activities that is taking place in the border towns and so forth. All relevant security agencies are doing their best to check illegal importations of not only arms, everything that is banned. But that has not eradicated smugglers completely. And what you have just said is smuggle activities that is taking place in the border towns, and it is being checked, and like I said, you plan for it, they plan for it, and it's a continuous process. We'll see what we can do. Some of the sanctions we have, they don't have it there. Some of the regulations we have, they don't. So, and you see the ECOWAS protocol of free movement of people and so forth and so forth. So there are challenges that are really around the border, in terms of money, in terms of how porous it is, and in terms of how people around the area have engaged in smuggling as even a means of livelihood. So that's that. We are checking it, and with this kind of information, we will still continue to check more. I think you can make your investigation more available to us and see how we can check it. The issue of expanding, either smuggling, taking rice, bringing in rice, or taking out fuel. For instance, rice is not allowed to be brought in just like that, so people smuggle it in. Then petrol, they don't have petrol, so if you are able to take 1 gallon of petrol from Nigeria to the other side, you will be able to get some profit. So expansion of tanks and other, these are things, these are all criminalities that are taking place, and not that they are not completely known, but there are challenges of checking all of them because of some level of maybe inadequacy, either in terms of personnel or in terms of equipment and so forth. To ensure arms-bearing security agencies conduct psychiatric tests. Well, like I told you, 303. How many? Does it? Three. What? Applied. The screening process dropped a lot of them, and we are able to reduce the screening to 230. From the 230, we also did another rundown, and they were reduced to 92. The computer-based aptitude will also has its own, and at the end we will still have medical exam. We don't want to do the medical exam until we reach a reasonable level, because it's going to be at a serious cost. Even for us to do aptitude test with WAEG, we are paying over 120 million. So if you want to come and run tests on all these applicants, it is going to be money. So by the time we reduce, because what we are looking for is 10,000. So by the time we are able to reduce to those we want, then we now conduct a medical test on them, not only on psychiatric, but on all other related issues. Thank you very much.